Hello, my name is Emily Coughlin, and joining me today is Alex and Yuriko. We will be presenting on Angela Merkel and her response to the COVID-19 pandemic for our perspectives on leadership course at the University of Nebraska, Omaha.
Hi, I'm Alex Wissing. I am a computer engineering and computer science major at the University of Nebraska, Omaha.
I'm Yuriko Koiwa. I'm majoring in sociology with concentration in anthropology and women's and gender studies.
And I'm Emily Coughlin. I'm majoring in communications with secondary concentrations in psychology and women, gender, and sexuality studies. Our group chose Angela Merkel as our leader to analyze because we are interested in German culture, government, and Angela Merkel's frequent differences with the current American president, Donald Trump. Our group agrees that Merkel's response to the COVID-19 pandemic was effective, and our presentation will tell you why. I'll start with some facts about Angela Merkel. She was born in Hamburg, Germany on July 17, 1954. She has a Master's of Science and a doctorate degree, both from Leipzig University. She began her career in German politics in the 1990s, and she became the Chancellor of Germany in November of 2005. She's currently serving her fourth term in the position, and she is the first female chancellor of Germany in the country's history. In Merkel's time as the Chancellor of Germany, she has made bold decisions on allowing immigration into Germany during the Syrian refugee crisis. She won Time Magazine's 2015 Person of the Year. Her supporters often call her Mutti, which translates to mommy in English. She runs arguably one of Europe's largest economies. She announced in November 2018 that she will not be running for another term when the current one is up in 2021. In 2019, she was rated as Forbes magazine's #1 most powerful woman.
Next, we'll discuss Angela Merkel's leadership style. Angela Merkel is a transformative leader. This means that she inspires and creates an idealistic perspective amongst those that she leads. During the Syrian refugee crisis, Germany was unique in its commitment to help refugees in a time of xenophobia and marked by a poor economy across Europe. The inspirational moments of Merkel's leadership also reveal her transformative nature. During the pandemic, approval polls in several countries showed Merkel to be significantly well-liked across the entire world, as Germany was leading in its success at handling the pandemic. A phrase from the 2015 crisis, "Wir schaffen das," meaning "we will manage this" in English, became a calling cry for Merkel's administration through the crisis. Another aspect of Merkel's leadership is her authenticity. Merkel's authentic leadership gives her a respectful, relatable, and genuine image to those that she leads. Wendy Sherman, former special advisor to Bill Clinton and now professor at Harvard, said, "She has a strong set of values and understands Germany's history exceedingly well, in part because she comes from East Germany. She fights for her country and for her people. She is analytical, fierce, and a very skilled politician. She recognizes the mistakes that she made and provides a way for her people to recognize that she too is human and working for them." During her 2014 speech, she said, "A state can invest, it can create good conditions, but politics can only accomplish a little without all of you in our country. What every one of us accomplishes individually on a small scale, that affects our country at a large."
So next, let's compare and contrast Angela Merkel's response to COVID-19 global pandemic to her male counterpart. First, Angela Merkel's response to COVID-19. Again, she is a Chancellor of Germany since 2005. She has worked on giving emergency aid as financial support, establishing a large number of lab diagnosis and early treatment at hospitals, making COVID guidelines on 12th March and lockdown on 22nd March, and increasing orders of medical equipment. So her policy for dealing with this pandemic is focusing on safety by the early decision and careful attitude. However, there was a criticism that the strong movement restrictions could be against the Constitution recognizing freedom of people's lifestyle. Next, compared to Donald Trump's response to COVID-19 pandemic. He is the president of the US since 2016. He has worked on COVID guidelines on 16th March and lockdown on 19th March. It depends on the state, the negative interest rate, order of medical equipment and plan to produce vaccine, and financial support. His policy for dealing with COVID-19 pandemic was restoration by resuming economic activity. There was a criticism that indicates the lack of tracking system of infected people and early lifting of lockdown. Third, compared to Boris Johnson's response to COVID-19 pandemic. He is the Prime Minister of the UK since 2019. He has worked on lockdown on 23rd March, order of medical equipment and reducing burden of National Health Service, and financial support. The biggest purpose of his policy for dealing with pandemic was protecting National Health Service system from being overwhelmed. The criticism was the rate of counterplan for COVID-19 and lack of diagnosis.
Looking at Merkel's handling of the pandemic in Germany, we've identified two useful methods that could be implemented here in Omaha to help contain the virus until a vaccine is developed. One such method is keeping high-risk populations safe. An article noted, as a result of protecting high-risk populations, overall case fatalities in Germany as of May 2020 are 4.6% compared with 14.1% and 12% in Italy and Spain, respectively. These data seem to indicate that the quality of care for older patients does not vary widely among countries, but the success of containment among high-risk populations does. It's clear that this method can save lives. Another method was proactive and early quarantining. Germany's eager lockdowns and quarantine measures had a significant impact in slowing the spread of COVID-19. Omaha has not taken these serious measures, such as lockdowns, but has gone through mandatory mask requirements and created restrictions on the number of people that can be within a certain space. This is a good measure that Omaha can implement to help save more people.